How do you solve a problem? Could you solve any problem thrown at you? Why not? This speech is going to outline simple techniques necessary to tackle and solve almost every problem you encounter. Although it may seem nuanced, any problem can be solved by a simple process of identifying the problem, generating solutions, and evaluating or following up on their methods. When asked to identify a problem, there's really two components that need to be considered. Understanding whether or not you actually have a problem to begin with, and being able to determine exactly what that problem is. Being able to understand if you have a problem seems trivial, but may be more difficult than one might think. Ask yourself about your feelings. How are you feeling? Are you out of balance with your emotions? Are you sad or angry? Is it appropriate the way that you're feeling? Also, look to your environment. Is your environment in homeostasis? Is everything where it needs to be? Are there any pending tasks that need to be completed? Once you sense you have a problem, the next and probably most important step of problem solving is knowing exactly what your problem is. A variable that is unbalanced in your life could have a root cause that can be traced back through many levels of that problem. The Center for Clinical Intervention states that you need to be specific about behavior, situation, timing, and circumstances that make it a problem. An example would be running out of gas. An otherwise easy problem to identify, however, its root cause may take some thinking. At face value, the problem may seem to be, I ran out of gas because the car used it all. Which, yes, it's true, but that's not really the root problem, is it? Did you forget to watch the gauge, and it was an accident? Why wasn't there priority put on monitoring the fluid of the liquid that's required for your car to move? You may be able to draw some idea that your gas running out stems from a lack of appreciation for the luxury the gas provides. After running out of gas once, you normally quickly learn to appreciate its value, and more than likely you won't run out of gas again. It cannot be stressed enough how crucial this step is of problem solving. Albert Einstein was once quoted saying, "If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions." After you correctly identified what your problem is, the next step, albeit intuitive, is the most difficult and overlooked, and that is generating solutions. Just like with the gas example I use, once we identified the root cause of the problem, it was pretty easy to generate a solution, and it came in naturally without additional forethought. This isn't always the case and usually requires some reflection. Generating solutions is where nuance and experience in problem solving will help. Important questions to ask when problem solving is the solution actually going to solve the problem, or is it going to brush dirt under the carpet? Say you have correctly identified a problem in your relationship with a coworker where you two just don't get along. Your collaboration is necessary for work, and you must work on a project together. One might tackle the problem by avoiding the conflict, playing nice and not being confrontational to finish the project. Congrats, the project's complete, problem solved. Only the problem wasn't the project, it was the turmoil between you and your coworker. A more practical solution would be confronting the friction head-on, either alone with just the two of you or with a supervisor or HR present to discuss your issues and come up with a resolution. Internal solution generation is a good skill to have, but there's no shame in literally infinite resources to external problem solving. You can reach out to anyone or anything. The internet is a huge resource and it's nearly infinite. Carolyn Hausler, which is a business psychologist in Germany, once wrote, "Having an abundance of knowledge at their fingertips, problem solvers more than ever are able to obtain novel and unique solutions that would otherwise be out of reach." So the problem solving doesn't just stop at coming up with a solution. You need to see if that solution works and determine if you need to come up with an even better one. Once your initial solution is implemented, it's important to not walk away from the issue. Carefully monitor that situation. After generating a solution, you need to ask yourself, did your environment improve? Is your situation homeostasis again? Are your moods better? Another important aspect to consider, did anything get worse at the expense of your solution? You may have resolved your problem, but did you cause a new one to form? This variable of problem solving eventually can be implemented and considered when generating your initial solution, so you can avoid external problems from surfacing. Did your problem get fully resolved or in the way you imagine it would get resolved? Your solution to a problem might resolve the conflict altogether, however, sometimes it may not. You may find yourself needing that extra 10% of closure to resolve your issue. This may take some reflection on how effective your solution is and require you to generate a new one or adapt or modify your initial solution. Sometimes the solution may not be satisfactory, even if it does completely solve an issue. Again, this will require analysis of your solution, what works, what doesn't, and you will need to generate newer solutions. After watching your solutions having been implemented, pick the best one. You may have come up with and implemented 5 different solutions with none of them having the desired success you wanted. A suggestion: pick one of the best 5 and move on. Or you could even look into picking the best characteristics of the 5 and generating a 6th new solution. There was a study done in 1993 conducted on the TV show The Price is Right, and what was drawn from that was that optimal decision making is best learned in an actual environment in which the decisions are best made. That is, there's no substitute for on-the-job training. This simply means your ability to make decisions takes real-world practice and will get better over time. It may stand to reason that aspects of any problem might have a nuance associated with them, but this general formula of identifying, generating, and following up really does help solve almost every problem you might encounter. I hope you all learned I hope you all learned how to tackle any new problems that may come in your way, and you might get past them with confidence and ease. Go find a problem to solve. Thanks, everybody.